Hello everybody, Althamir here. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking on the video. I really do appreciate it. You certainly do not have to. Today we are going to be doing another build in my fun build series. Now, as always, I'd like to set off a disclaimer to say that these builds are not really meant for sweatier content. Leaderboard chasing, kind of stuff. It's a fun build. Like, now you can get done a lot of content in the game with this build, certainly, if not all of it. But if you're looking for leaderboard builds and elite, like end game builds, this is definitely not going to be one of them, most likely. And this is also pretty much, overland content. You'd have to change up your bar if you wanted it to be a PvE build, but you certainly can do that. This bar setup is more for PvP, as I am a PvPer. So let's dive right into the video. So with the Breton build, I tried to, really focus on what Bretons are. Bretons are good at, being battle mages. They're good with long sustained fights, blah, 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 blah. So that's what I really tried to focus on with this build. Their history, their passives. So the sets that I chose for this are going to be a 5-piece Seducer, kind of a forgotten set in the game, but now I did for the pants and the chest, I did heavy, and I did reinforce just to, make them a little bulkier. For the monster sets, I did two one-piece monster sets that gave me more armor. There aren't really any more sets really that give you just spell resistance, like in the past there used to be. So I just went with some armor sets instead. Now the last one that I use is Crafty Alfique. Um, since the Bretons, since Dragon Knights don't really have any sort of pets, I decided so I can't really do Necropotence. Crafty Alfique is a good alternative to that. Um, on the jewelry, I did two-pieced infused. Now on this one, if you don't want to do arcane, that's perfectly fine. You could do protective. That also adds up with the Breton build. I did Inferno on the main bar with a Nirnhoned trait. Back bar is one hand and shield to be a little bulkier with defending, and the shield being sturdy with the tri stat. Now I did tri stat on the chest and the pants and the head. Everything else is singular. I did Magica on the belt and the boots, and health on the arms and the shoulders, just to get my health up there. Now for food, I am using Witchmar's Potent Brew, but that's only because this is kind of an alt character. You really probably want to do something like Clockwork Citrus Fillet is something. It's kind of the same thing, but it adds obviously better stats, but it also adds health recovery as well. To get, because really for PvP you want your health to be at least 30k. You really do. So you need to probably sacrifice some more magicka in order to get this up there. Stamina wise is okay, but being a melee class, because Dragon Knights typically are pretty melee, you probably want a little bit more stamina. So if you could squeeze that in, that'd be, you could do all tri-stat on your armor would also work, as well. Now penetration's only 3k. Now that's that's not probably want to be around 5k, but I mean it's okay because your weapon damage is almost 4.1. Your spell resistance and your physical resistance are pretty good, but you're gonna, bulk up. You got 28 spell resist and 23 physical resist, which is pretty good. Your magic recovery is 1.7, which is pretty good, but with the clockwork citrus, it will be higher. For a Mundus Stone, you could do spell damage, definitely, so you do more damage. Another option would be magic recovery, which is the Atronach. Or if you want more health, you could do, I believe it's the Lord Mundus Stone, but you could toy around with health without doing. You could get more health without screwing around with the Mundus Stone. So your options would be the Atronach for recovery, the Apprentice for spell damage, or the Lover for penetration, if you want more penetration. Now for your bars. Now I'm kind of I've changed this bar a few times. There's a few flex spots, but you got I prefer Flame Lash. The other morph is probably more popular, but I kind of like this one. I don't know. I've always liked this one. This is going to be a flex spot. I picked Eruption, but you could also do Chains. Sometimes Wings goes here, or Inhale. Next spot's going to be Burning Talons. This is just to immobilize people and keep them from running away from you. Then you got Engulfing Flames. Dot, plus it increases the damage of your flame abilities, which is really good. And then Fossilize, which teamed with this, makes you really annoying. And then, of course, the OP ultimate right now is Corrosive Armor. You could also do Ferocious Sleep if you wanted to, but this ultimate is the one that's going to really melt people, for sure. Back bar, you Cauterize, Igneous Weapons for the Brutality and Sorcery. This is going to be your armor ability. This is going to boost your heals, so it's pretty much the only reason why it's there. Certainly not there for the damage shield. Really, it's there for the major mending. And then Coagulating Blood, which is your heal. And then you could do Ferocious Sleep, or you could go more defensive. I just don't have it unlocked right now. You could do Shield Wall, or if you have Psijic Order, again, this is an alt character, so I do not have Psijic Order. You could do that ability as well. Potion-wise, I do the Crown Strat potions because, as you can see, I have about like a couple thousand of them. So that's pretty much why I do those. But for PvP, you want something like this here. The Essence of Immovability really comes in handy when dealing with other players in PvP. Now, CP wise, well, you can kind of toy around with CP, honestly, to how you see fit. There's no CP that really makes the Breton build a Breton build, besides maybe recovery and reducing cost of things. But I did Doomators because a lot of damage that Dragon Knights do is damage over time, so this is kind of essential. Untamed Aggression to get my weapon damage and spell damage up there. Wrathful Strikes, again, weapon and spell damage. So these two alone, 150, 200. So that's increasing my weapon damage by, oh, my math sucks. 355. That's just without even wearing a set. But you can, if you want more penetration, I think it's in this one. Yeah, you could do this one. But the only issue with this one, Force of Nature, it's a really good one to have, but it depends on how many status effects you have. Now in PvP, you could have a lot, or you could have none. So that's why this one's kind of iffy, and these ones are pretty much permanent. They're not depending on something happening, which this one does. So that's the reason why I don't go for it. Now, I would say because of the hybrid, everyone's doing hybrid now. I would make sure that you unlock Battle Mastery. Like if you're Magicka, definitely get these two. But if you're not Magicka, don't worry. I would get these anyway because you just never know. I mean, one of the ultimate that I use is poison damage. So this increases that. So it's just something to keep in mind because everything's hybrid now. And then the last one is Master of Arms. Increase your damage done with direct. That's just to help out pretty much every ability. Your red tree again, you can play around with this if you want. But this is just what I prefer. I would probably do this one, but anyway. Rejuvenation, again, just to get recovery up, kind of matches up with the Breton really well. This one's max health, just anything that increases my health, I'm going for it. This one and this ability. Sustained by suffering, increase your health, magic, and stamina recovery per stage while under the effects of a negative effect. In PvP, you're going to be under a lot of negative effects. So while you're under those, you get more health. Again, staying with the Breton thing in recovery, you just get more recovery. This one, Pain's Refuge, reduce your damage taken by 2% for every negative effect. Again, PvP, you're going to be taking a lot of damage. This one is kind of a flex one. If you want to take away this one and do Survival Instincts instead, you can certainly do that. Or you could do maybe a tanky one, or again, just play around with these. This is just what I prefer. This one's also really good, even though I'm Magicka, I am melee, so I might dodge roll a lot. And dodge roll as a Magicka player is kind of dangerous because you're going to be running out of stamina at some point, right? This one increases my dodge roll. Why did I just say that? Your next dodge roll is free of cost. So every 30 seconds, I might get a free dodge roll. So that's pretty good. This one's also a good one to have as well. So whichever one you want to flex up for this spot, if you don't like this one or you don't like this one, I think you need at least one recovery on there, just because Breton's recovery, and recovery means that you can cast abilities more. You gotta find that little happy balance between damage, because the penetration on this build is a little lower than you probably want. Maybe you switch this out for sharpened. You can certainly do that. But again, these builds aren't really made for sweaty. As long as you're having fun and you're actually killing people, I think you're all right. This is a really fun ability to have, and if you notice, because of your magic recovery, it doesn't really go anywhere. So you can have this going and nothing. That's really nice. 198. It doesn't get lower than 98%, which is great. So it's gonna really help you in the fight, where you can, as long as you keep all your buffs up, you get almost 4.1k spell damage. Your resistances are 20-23. Recovery is still 1.7. It's really good. So that's pretty much it for this build, guys. The Breton. Now, obviously, in honor of doing the Breton, I did the Breton hero costume, which it's cooler in the video, right? Like, I don't know. It's just, it looks weird. My character looks like he's drunk and has like a belly. But anyway, that's it for this video, guys. It's a Breton build. Another build of my fun build series. Check out my other videos on a fun build series. I definitely am enjoying this series a lot. It's a lot of fun. I can share my ideas, and some of them are good, some of them are bad. I'm definitely open to admitting that. This one, I've actually had a lot of fun on this build, to be honest with you. Um, it was a lot more fun than I thought it would be. I thought the build would be annoying, but that's the reason why it took me so long to test this. But I tested it during mid-year, and it was a lot of fun, surprisingly. But so yeah, I hope you enjoy it too. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.